To tell students how to learn a level 3 scale, tell them to turn to page 68 and look at major scale level 3, number 1. The numbers are on the left side of their page. Scale number 1 is concert A flat for everyone except horns. Horns are going to learn concert E flat first, but make sure you're not really talking to them about transpositions. That's just for you to know. They don't really need to know transpositions, they just tell them to do scale number 1. This helps to alleviate some of the confusion. If they're young, they often don't play the correct line, like they might get to page 68 and then not remember what number you told them to do. So have them actually touch it and then check their neighbor on either side. And I usually go around and spot check a few kids who are either, passively resist, they don't do whatever you tell them to do, or, that they may struggle to focus in your class. So you must have at least 2 groups, everyone but horns in one group and horns in group 2. I say at least 2 groups because it's really good to break them into smaller, like say, okay, all the low brass you guys play, all the upper woodwinds you guys play, like it just helps to get smaller groups so that you can hear what's going well and what's not going well. I like to model on my main instrument or on the piano, and I use the clavinova, but use whatever you're comfortable with. Connect the idea of the level 3 scale backwards to all these other scales that you've done, written scales, chaining scale, level 1 scale, and level 2 scale. If they have done those, level 3 scale is going to be really easy to teach. Encourage them to memorize this scale and just play it over and over until it sounds beautiful. And there are 2 major differences between a level 2 scale and a level 3 scale. Some of the scales have been extended from 1 octave scales to 2 octave scales. They're going to stay, if they are 2 octave scales, they're going to stay slow. They're going to be 66 beats per minute. Some of the scales haven't been changed at all. They're just 1 octave, but they're going to be almost twice as fast, 120 beats per minute. So tell them about the key signature and how to apply it to the specific pitches that are flat or natural in this scale. So often when kids are sight reading, they just ignore the key signature and play in whatever key signature you're used to. Like a lot of bands play in B flat all the time. And then they want to play every piece that they pick up in B flat, and anything that's outside of that, then they're going to mess up. So just help them understand how the key signature works. In this scale, they're going to regularly miss the first pitch, the 4th pitch, and the top pitch, and stress that they got to use those annotated fingerings that are underneath some of the notes in their music. And those annotated fingerings will just help them to either play more in tune, or it will help them to play faster when they, more ease of fingers when they go fast. One strategy that's particularly effective for my students in teaching them the key signature is to touch the first flat, the B flat, and then with your left index finger, and then touch the B flat as it comes up throughout the scale. And then try touching the left finger to the next flat, E flat, and then touch each E flat in the scale, and then A flat, and just continue the process until you run out of flats in the key signature. Or if it's an instrument that reads in sharps all the time, tell them to look for some of those sharps that they're used to seeing. Like alto saxes are going to have seen F sharp on almost everything they've played, so tell them to touch that F line and touch all the F naturals. When teaching this scale, I model the fingerings on 1 instrument each time we repeat it. Just, get that kid's instrument, I don't pick up a bassoon usually, but, like go grab an oboe or go grab a trombone and show them the fingerings while they're airing and fingering. And that way, they're going to get it a little bit better. Especially the first few times, try to get around to as many instruments as possible to show them how the scale will move on their particular instrument, and have them use that technique of airing and fingering a lot. Students are going to form the shape of blowing out a candle and then blow a stream of continuous air, not into the instrument, articulating with the tongue when the music calls for it, and then letting the air flow and moving the fingers when it's supposed to slur, like that. Percussionists have them air stick, just pretend to hit the correct bar an inch or 2 above the bar. Every time I model a scale, I'm either going to have them air and finger or have this group say the letter names while doing the correct fingerings in time with the metronome. Very short, intense bursts of study work best for my students. Their attention spans are relatively short, all the new technology they have. So we work on scales for no more than 7 minutes each day, 5 to 7 minutes. The exception being if it's a new scale, like, hey, this is the first time we're doing a level 3 scale 7th graders, so let's spend a little bit more time on it, 15 minutes max. You go up into 20, 25 minutes and you're going to lose them. So demand that they play the correct pitches. Point out mistakes, listen for mistakes, have them play in smaller groups. Just get them, make sure that they're doing it right, but don't be Dr. Doom. Be real encouraging and tell them, oh, you should make sure you do it this way. Don't beat them up when they make a mistake. Instead, encourage them and try to tell them twice as often what they're doing well as to what they're doing.